This week, we're going to take a look at some tips and tricks for time management. To be clear, there really is no such thing as time management because we're unable to control time. However, we can control ourselves and make the best use of our time. One of the other videos that you'll be watching this week teaches you how to do the Pomodoro technique. And I won't get into too much detail about it here because I think Barbara Oakley explains it fantastically, how it's a great tool to use if you tend to be ineffective with time management. So definitely be sure to check out that video. Sometimes we're not even really aware of where time is going. And so our activity this week is going to be to develop a time management plan for the week and try to, prioritize your work, your school, and also keep some time for yourself. So that's another way, just even developing an awareness about where your time is being spent and how it's being spent can be helpful. Personally, I've always found that having a to-do list can be really helpful for keeping you on track and making sure that you're achieving your short-term goals, whether that be for the day or for the week, or for the month. I find that I get a lot more accomplished when I have a to-do list than when I don't have a list. And there's something really gratifying about being able to check off or cross off a list that I can physically look at the end of the day to see what I've accomplished. When it comes to studying, make sure that you're studying smarter, not longer. What I mean by that is there's a lot of research out there that shows that studying in very short spurts of maybe 15 to 20 minutes at a time, and then getting up and walking away, sort of like that Pomodoro technique, is far more effective than sitting in front of a textbook staring at it for an hour or two. Make sure that when you do go to study that one, your phone is turned off or away so that you're not getting disrupted by chats or social media. And you also want to make sure that you are truly engaging with the content and not just staring at the textbook. So you want to make sure that the activities you're doing, whether that's using Quizlet and some flashcards or rewriting your notes, which is a great study technique, make sure that you're making your study time count. Another time management tip, which doesn't seem like a time management tip at all, is to make sure you're getting enough rest. And when I say getting enough rest, you should be getting approximately 8 hours of sleep, maybe a little bit more every single day. And I know how hard it is when you're juggling school and work and all other kinds of commitments that sometimes sleep ends up being the thing that's cut out of your schedule. Problem with that is when we're not rested, we tend to not be as productive in our awake time. So, just if it comes down to cramming in the middle of the night for a test, you're just better off getting some rest. And then when you're rested, getting up maybe a little earlier to study instead. So sleep is definitely something that you should never cut out of your schedule. This is another time management tip that, again, doesn't feel like a time management tip, and yet there's lots of research out there demonstrating that it is necessary, and that is to make sure you're getting exercise. Again, it's usually one of those things that takes the cut because you've got to do schoolwork, you've got your actual job to do, and it's so important to get exercise. One strategy I used to like would be to go for a walk after I got finished reading a chapter. And my entire purpose during that walk is to try to recall as many things from the chapter as I could and try to just go through it in my head. And so there are little ways that you can incorporate exercise along with other things in your life, like studying, without being left without enough time. And kind of tying in with that is remember to take even just a little bit of time for yourself. You are a whole person. You are not just a worker. You are not just a student. You're a whole person and you need to take care of yourself as a whole person. Otherwise, you risk burning out and being unsuccessful in terms of meeting your goals. So to summarize, you cannot manage time. You can only manage yourself and how you use your own time. So, while you can use some simple tips like the Pomodoro technique or a to do list, just even being aware of how you're using your time, those things can be helpful. But it's also very important to make sure you're getting enough sleep and exercise and taking care of your whole self.